On this episode of iFilmmaker, we're in Minnesota learning new things about event videography. Hello and welcome again to the iFilmmaker podcast. My name's Ariel Martinez, and I definitely owe you guys an apology. I have not posted an episode last Thursday, and this episode, this is going to be a very quick one. As you can see, I'm still here in the hotel. It's been going crazy. I'm here in Minnesota right now at the CrossFit game. At the Kill Cliff Granite Games. It is a CrossFit event without the CrossFit name. However, anyways, it's been going insane. And it's just been a hectic weekend working here. It's, a lot of video recording, a lot of videography and editing throughout the entire weekend. And that's how these events go. We're working 14, 15 hours a day. You really don't have time to, I was hoping I could have time to do a podcast, but, I'm here finding myself having to do it at the end of the weekend, at the end of the event. But better late than never. I definitely don't want to keep you guys waiting for the next episode, so I figured I'd record this one now, and we'll do another update on this event for the next couple episodes. But anyways, I have before coming out here, I was actually very hesitant to say the least, because I am from Miami, and as you're all probably aware of, we are experiencing some really bad weather over there. We have a Hurricane Irma hitting Miami, well, basically all of Florida, and I was very hesitant on coming here, just because of my friends and family and the safety and whatnot. And upon speaking with some of my leaders and mentors, and they basically told me, they're gonna be fine. You should go work and whatnot. So I made a decision to come. Thankfully, the hurricane turned and Miami wasn't that bad, but there's a lot of places in Florida that are still in danger, so I'm just wishing the best to those locations. Hopefully they're all safe, and I'm happy that my friends and family are safe. Anyways, so moving forward, I'm here in Minnesota, as I mentioned, working the CrossFit. I keep saying CrossFit. The Kill Cliff Granite Games. It's a CrossFit event, and basically we're just doing a lot of social media pieces. I'm here working with my friends, Mr. McCoy, which you all know, and Jonathan Mayfield, and I will have them on the show on a later episode to basically recap what we did in this at this event, what we've learned. And I think it's good because I want to do some future episodes for every project, maybe not every single project, but projects like these where I learned a couple new tricks and maybe opened my eyes to a few new options when it comes to my gear, and I want to share that with you guys because I think it's good. I think it's important that I share not just what I learned, but how I learn. And the way I learn is through these experiences, through using all my gear and really putting my stuff to use and seeing how that works out for me. If there's a better option, what that is, and trying it out. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and just let you know basically the biggest thing that I learned and I loved that I made this purchase, and it's a very simple one too, was my Peak Design shoulder strap, my camera strap. So I purchased this Peak Design camera strap a couple of weeks ago, and because I had used it before and it was very comfortable, I never really put it to the test though until this weekend. So what happened was I was able to run and gun like crazy throughout this entire event, which the entire facility was huge. I had to run around everywhere. Definitely traveled quite a few miles throughout the day. So what happened was, when I'm running around with my FS5, I'm running around with my camera, the 7-inch small HD monitor on it, my Rode video, my Rode NTG4 Plus, and the windscreen on it, the dead cat windscreen, and my new 24-105 Mark II Canon L lens. which is significantly heavier than the Mark 1. So it added a lot of weight and bulk to my rig, to my camera. I posted a picture of this on my social media if you guys are following me, and you guys can see a lot of this stuff if you were following me on Instagram. You can see it all on my stories. But anyways, back to this strap. I really loved being able to just clamp my entire rig on this strap, and I'm able to just go all day with this thing. I did start feeling it a little bit in terms of like weighing me down toward the end of the day. I'm talking like this was already at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But considering that I started at 5 a.m., literally starting our shooting at 5 a.m. in the morning. So this is almost 12 hours of just holding that rig, which is not light. Running around with that rig all day long with this strap was very comfortable. Very, very comfortable. And it just made the world of a difference. Every now and then I had to pull out my monopod because I did have to conduct some interviews throughout the day. and I wanted those shots to be much more stable. There were a couple times where I caught myself without my monopod and I had to do the interview right there and then. So unfortunately I had to grab my that entire rig, my camera setup. I had to go completely handheld. Excuse me. We're super tired here. It is actually 12:30 in the morning as I record this, so excuse me if I seem a bit tired. But this has just been an insane weekend. But anyways, I found myself having to do the interview right there and then. So what I had to do was just go completely handheld for the interview. And these were very quick interviews. They were really run and gun because we're throwing these out 3-4 videos per day for social media. And that was only myself. There were these other two guys, Mr. McCoy and John Mayfield, that were also putting out the same amount of video. So an event this big, they need constant video. So there were 3 of us that were shooting the entire time so that we can get those videos out fast and basically just rapid fire. Just shoot and edit and put it out there. So yeah, I mean, we definitely had our hands full throughout the entire day. We're actually going to go ahead. You can see all the stuff that we've been posting. If you want to go ahead and follow the Granite Games on social media, that's their handle. It's the Granite Games. I'll put a link to that all on my website. You can go to ifilmmakerpodcast.com and check it out there. And also the videos that we were creating for them, all 100% run and gun style. They're all being posted out there. So another thing that I've learned throughout this event is the use of I was able to use Mr. McCoy's Sony 85mm prime G Master. That lens is gorgeous, top to bottom, gorgeous. The image quality was just phenomenal, and it was beautiful. Once I was doing a special interest piece on the volunteers of this event, and I just had to do a quick story. And I was running around with my 18 to 35 millimeter Sigma art lens, the f1.8, and I had asked him if I could use his 85 prime. We switched up. He was using my lens and I was using his, and I just fell in love with it. And just the images that lens was giving me was ridiculous. I was in love looking at this thing. I did not want to give it back, believe me. So I actually held on to it for a little bit. I kept running and gunning with it, and that lens, I was just hooked on that lens. Is it enough to justify my buying that lens? I don't think so, because it just doesn't serve the purpose that I need in the lens. As you saw, as you know very well, I run and gun a lot. I need to have that zooming capabilities, and the 85 prime or any other prime lens for that matter just really limits me in what I can do. I think if I was to go prime, I would probably go with the Rokinons because they're significantly cheaper. I can get much more of those for the price. For the price tag of that 185 millimeter prime, I can get 4 or 5 Rokinon cinema lenses that are really, really nice. And they're probably not as sharp or as creamy in the depth of field, but it is a trade-off. So that's what you're paying for, really. It was just such a gorgeous lens. Really, really nice lens. Very solid. But anyways, in addition, I just mentioned my 24-105 Mark II. That lens was fantastic as well. It's really what I shot everything in. I was hoping to get more interviews with my 18-35 Sigma Art, but sometimes it wasn't available because I loaned it to Mr. McCoy. So I just did it with my 24-105, and you know what? I liked it. I loved it. It was great. The 10 blade iris really gave me some nice creamy backgrounds, which I really like. And you know what? I really cannot complain. That would still be my only lens. If I could only choose one lens, I would pick that one. And I still believe that today. I really do appreciate it. It does weigh my rig down much more, but again, with my strap, my Peak Design strap, it was really, really, it felt really good to be able to have that option to just have that camera on me everywhere I went. And it just wasn't like, if I had to have that rig in my hand the entire day, I would really have a bad day. It would just start hurting. My shoulder would feel like it's coming off, and it would, after a while of holding that. Ooh, excuse me. Trying to stay awake here. So it, if I was to have that rig in my hand the entire time, it would have been really, really just a real bad day for me. But the fact that I was able to just run around anywhere I needed to go with that heavy rig on that shoulder strap really made the world of difference. So it was really, really good. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, that we're going to keep this episode very, very short. Again, I apologize for not being able to put this. I know there should not be any excuse for that, but I hope you guys understand that I'm also a working videographer, and I need to, my work comes first, and this unfortunately has to come second. The podcast has to come second. And so, it is what it is. But I do promise that I will continue to try and work hard to try to maintain this content coming in, answering your questions whenever I receive them. And hopefully that you guys can just, I guess, be patient and we can stick together. You guys stick with me. Now, I do want to answer one question that I did receive, and I had already answered on a post that I had posted my camera setup. I received it on Instagram, and I already went ahead and answered it. So the question was, "Hey Ariel, I have a question. Why do you need a microphone on top of your camera when you're shooting on an open space like this and there's nobody talking in front of the camera?" So he's referring to this is Yoav on Instagram that's reaching out to ask this question. So he's referring to a question of my camera at the hockey rink. This is the hockey rink where the entire event happened, and the picture shows, for those of you that can't see the picture right now, I'm putting it on YouTube, but the picture shows basically my FS5, the rig that I just described to you all right now. He's referring to the NTG4 Plus connect with the dead cat on it, and basically it's on my rig, but I'm shooting like there's no one in front of the camera. Basically it's a huge arena. It's a hockey rink. So basically he's wondering, why do I need the microphone on there? So basically I told him I wasn't always in that position. So I was running and gunning all day. Sometimes I would get audio. Sometimes I would need the audio. Sometimes I don't. Basically, that's the rig that I use for everything and anything. Even if I don't need the audio, I still have that microphone on my camera just in case. I don't want to have to put it on my camera, the moment that I do need the audio. sometimes I would get close to the action when these athletes are doing their movements, their CrossFit movements. The crowds are cheering and things are really happening. I want to pick up that audio. I want to have that option at the ready. So that's run and gun. I have to be prepared for that stuff. So I just make sure that my audio is good and clean. If I'm doing an interview outdoors and there's a lot of wind, well, that's why I have the dead cat on there. Make sure that that's already covered. So basically, it's a rig that doesn't need any more modifications. If any modifications present themselves, if any situation presents itself, I don't have to change anything too much or even at all. I did have my my new wooden camera sun hood on that monitor, if you see it on the rig as well, but at that time it was already nighttime, so I had already removed it. It was getting a little bit annoying. If I wanted to get a low angle or a high angle, I had to actually tilt the monitor, because I was, the actual hood was really getting in the way of my view of the screen of the monitor. So that just, it was a little drag sometimes. And what I ended up having to do, just for speed, for efficiency sake, I just ended up using my LCD my on-camera LCD screen, just so that I didn't have to really remove and reposition the monitor. But yeah, that's why I have the my shotgun mic on my camera setup that you see on that screen. But either way, by the way, in that picture, I was actually set up for another interview that I was waiting to do, which was the head man of the event, the guy that with John Swanson. He actually runs the event, he owns it, and I was actually set up to do an interview with him. He was just on his way to get there, so that's what I was waiting for. That's why you also see the headphones on the camera as well. Anyways, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode. It is very late here. I was supposed to be on my way back to Miami tomorrow, Monday, but because of the hurricane, because of the storm, my flight was canceled, as you can imagine. So I had to pick up the next flight, which was the following day on Tuesday. So I'm going to have to get back on Tuesday. And hopefully we'll have follow-up episodes with Mr. McCoy and Mr. Mayfield, so that we can discuss back and forth the equipment that we used and how we used it, what we thought about it, what are we considering for future events and whatnot. So I think those are going to be great episodes, and I definitely want to rectify the fact that we did not post last week on Thursday. We do apologize for that, and I do apologize for that. And hopefully I can, continue this workflow or just be able to plan ahead of time. I definitely do appreciate your patience with me. And I will continue to work to try to be as connected with you guys as I possibly can. So everything that I spoke about today, you guys can find on the iFilmmaker website. I go to ifilmmakerpodcast.com, and you can find the links to it there. You can find some of the videos that we produced for this event there as well. Remember, these were done in one day. All of these videos were done in one day, within a matter of hours, because we were producing 3 to 4 videos each per day. So you can find them there at ifilmmakerpodcast.com. Remember, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram at ifilmmakerpodcast on Instagram there. And if you're listening on iTunes, we definitely appreciate a review. It really helps us in the rankings and the analytics over at the iTunes, and also on SoundCloud as well. So with that being said, thank you guys. I'm going to end it here. I'm going to go to sleep, try to get some rest. I do have some work to do here from the hotel tomorrow, since I'll be here an extra day. I'm going to have to work here from the hotel, but that's what this job calls for sometimes. So I will see you guys on the next episode. This is actually episode number 50, I believe. We're moving forward, and unfortunately it has to be one of these, but it's okay. I think we're moving forward. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So I'm going to get some sleep. I'm going to get some rest. You guys do that too, if it's that time for you as well. And I will catch you on the next episode. See ya.